Man, call your Met fan friends and tell them you love them. It's been quite a stretch here for the Mets, on edge, but after the fifth, a sigh of relief to some extent. 8-4, a winner following a 5-run fifth. Those 5 runs, the most in a playoff inning since 2006 for the Mets, who take the 1-0 series lead over the Brew Crew. CBS MLB insider Jim Bowden joining us to debrief on what has been a wild week in these specific 9 innings. But Jim, I do want to go back. How important was this day and the response off of a full day on Monday for this Mets team? They've been such a team of momentum all year long. How important was it to use that momentum and not let it get the best of them with some fatigue here on Tuesday?
Oh, I think momentum was a huge part of this game. I do. And I don't think it was just Monday's doubleheader against the Braves. I think it was the 7 games at the end of the regular season for the Mets, because they were playing a meaningful game every single day to try to get to the postseason. And it took them the game 161 to be able to clinch the playoffs on Monday. And then, boom, you play a doubleheader, you get on a plane, and here you go in game 1. So I think the momentum was there, because on the flip side, you look at Milwaukee. They haven't played a meaningful game in 2.5 weeks. They clinched the NL Central weeks ago. They had such a huge lead, it was never even a race. So they didn't have that kind of momentum. They weren't playing those important games coming in. And I think the difference there, Joe, absolutely showed up early in this game.
It certainly did. And when you look at the management of game 1, I know it's suspect in some ways. You now have one team with a pretty fresh pen and one team that exhausted much of theirs here in game 1, now with their backs against the wall. Early hook on Peralta, what did you make of it with the way he was going in game 1?
Yeah, Joe, I think it's a really good point, because I think Carlos Mendoza, the manager of the Mets, absolutely outmanaged Pat Murphy, the Brewers manager, here in game 1. I thought Pat Murphy had too quick of a hook on Peralta. 4+ innings is all he went. That's his best pitcher, and he went to the bullpen. Now, I understand he trusts his bullpen. It's one of the best in the National League. I understand he wanted to go there. But Freddie Peralta's your guy, and he was pitching well. He'd only given up 2 hits and 3 runs, and he didn't let him kind of pitch out of it and finish it and save the bullpen for later in the game. I thought that was a mistake. On the other side, I give a lot of credit for Carlos Mendoza. I mean, here he is managing in his first postseason game, and I thought he did a great job with Severino, who gave up 2 runs in the first inning. He was wild. He didn't have command. He didn't get his stuff going. And yet Mendoza stuck with him, and he ended up, after that first inning, of going 5 innings of 2-run ball. And so I think the 6 innings he got out of Severino is going to save his bullpen for game 2 and game 3 if necessary. So I thought Mendoza outmanaged Murphy. I thought that was a huge part of the game. We also have to give credit to the 2 rookies in this game, Joe. Mark Vientos, 2 big RBIs with a really good at-bat going the other way. And Jackson Chourio on the other side for Milwaukee became the youngest player in baseball history to get 2 hits in his first postseason game.
And how about a tip of the cap here at the Mets front office? 7 of these 8 runs offered by the team by players that weren't on the opening day roster. You got to be malleable, you got to be able to move, and you got to carry that momentum into moments like this, exactly what the Mets do. On the other side, it's a flat-footed Milwaukee team now with their season on the line in a day's time. It really is interesting the way game 1 was managed and how that informs game 2, but this is a Brewers team that's lost 6 straight playoff games, Jim. You've been around teams on the brink. Do you change things? Do you keep it all the same? How do you find that spark when there's really no spark to be found for this team in the postseason as of late?
No, I mean, you got to keep playing the games like you have been. But I think one thing in this format, since we went to the 2 out of 3 for the wild card, it is 8-0. The teams that win the first game are 8-0. They've never lost a series, and 7 of those 8 have been 2-game sweeps. Only 1 went to a 3rd game in the first 2 years of this. So, you know, if history is any indication, it could be over tomorrow, and the Mets could be celebrating. It could be that simple. For Milwaukee, look, you got to do what you did all year long. Try to even the series up and force a game 3. But I'm telling you, the Mets are locked in. Those hitters' timing are down. If you don't make your pitches, they're going to hit you. And we're watching this. I mean, up and down that Mets lineup. Let's give them credit. They hit when they had to against Atlanta yesterday, and they had that big 5th inning today that everyone in New York is celebrating right now.
Yeah, fundamental baseball leading to this win. On the other side for the Brewers, now 4 consecutive playoff losses in which they led by 2 or more runs in all 4 of those games. It's the first time in big league history that has ever happened. We'll see if they can get a lead and buck a trend on Wednesday. Jim Bowden, appreciate you, pal.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, here's a look at some numbers out of this one. The Brewers passed 11 postseason games, 1-10. As we said, 6 in a row in the loss column. Not doing it at the plate and being mightily outscored. They've met the Mets. Can they get one off of them on Wednesday? We'll have full highlights of Game 1 coming up on CBS Sports HQ.